What's going on today, Guardians? Hey, listen, we're going to be looking at Extremophile 011 or 011. This is the dead orbit auto rifle. Now, this is not the vendor roll we're going to be going over today. Specifically, what I'm going over is one I got from a faction package, which I found to be a very deadly rolled one. You know, I'm on this auto rifle kick right now. Don't really know why. I've always been a hand cannon user. And I don't know, man, I'm really liking it. I took it into a lot of different events, and it was shredding people, man. And it falls into that same archetype of what Monte Carlo falls into. So I'm a really big fan of that 88 rate of fire and that 8 impact level, man. That's kind of been my sweet spot of auto rifles. Guys, before we get started today, again, if we can go for another 1,000 likes, man, helps my channel out a ton. And man, I've been appreciating all the love and support from you guys. So without further ado, fellas, let's kick it off. Alright guys, so let's take a look at this roll that I got now. Right off the bat, I got Sure Shot, which is pretty nice to have. You know, it gives that enhanced handling, or that excellent hitting, that superb target acquisition, which is wonderful on top of that, and that snapshot, man. I don't know, I'm just a huge fan of that sight. Hipfire, man. Look, I feel like hipfire is one of those things, like I said in a video before, hipfire is like has been related to minimizing the inaccuracies between when you're especially from your hip but to your ADS, which makes sense, but to a point that people didn't realize how much it actually increases your accuracy overall. And so really liking the hipfire perk on that. Perfect balance as well, again with hit and hand. All of these things in combination with one another is really providing a weapon that's very stable, but one that also has very increased accuracy and target acquisition. And so that's why I'm really a huge fan of this. Now let's take a look at some of the gameplay and let's talk stats. Okay guys, so let's take a look at the stats. You know, the range on it is 27, which is pretty much average, but the thing that kind of throws itself out to me is you can get weapons or auto rifles that have that extended range, but they're gonna fall into that archetype of what like Shadow Price is, or Grim Sentence is, or like the auto rifle that I did a review on yesterday called Genesis Chain, which is not really the most favorite archetype in Crucible. Now, I will say in this archetype that Extremophile falls under, which is the same one as like Righteous and you know, Usurus ARI 41, those type of weapons, Hakon's Hatchet, it has the best range out of all of those besides Vision Stone, which is going to be the Trials of Osiris auto rifle coming out next weekend. Now, that being said, I think it's got good range, especially with the new maps that have recently come out. They're a lot more arcadey, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm needing a weapon. It's not like our year 2 maps where they were very spread out. These maps are very close quarter, so I wasn't really finding a lot of issue with damage fall off. Now, stability wise, you're looking at a good stability there of 55, which is plenty, especially combined with perfect balance. Now, if you were to go with the vendor roll is not bad. It actually gives the same thing, except for instead of the hidden hand perk that I had on mine, it actually gave it persistence. I found that this auto rifle persistence is good on the archetype of what you have with Doctrine of Passing. I find that persistence though on weapons such as this archetype, the recoil patterns on these weapons are very manageable. I think if you have perfect balance on it, you're fine using just that weapon. You see where I'm coming from, like using it without persistence. Now, with that being said, I think the vendor roll can still be very good because, you know, the more stability, the merrier. I was just using hidden hand just to use hidden hand. You know, I felt like it was doing a really good job at snagging those different headshots and target acquisition and stuff. But overall, guys, the perks are good there, and those are the 2 perks that I'm really looking at the most. You know, the recoil direction isn't exactly great, but like I said, it wasn't really throwing me off, especially having as much stability as I already had in it. Reload speed is actually wonderful on this weapon as well. They're at 80, mag size at 37, and I had extended mag on mine, so of course I can increase that the most. And that's kind of something that I think I would swap between that and hipfire. Now on the vendor version, you have hipfire, but you also have the armor piercing rounds. So I mean, just depends on what you want to use. I would probably still pick hipfire, but again, it depends. If you're in 6s, the armor piercing rounds might actually do a really good job for you. Aim assist of 71, which is actually one of the higher aim assists in this archetype. You know, you've got Armanis that has a big aim assist, and then weapons such as like Soul Stealer's Claw that have like 80 aim assists. So Extremophile all around the board has really good stats, like in the range of above average. You see where I'm coming from? So that's what I'm really liking about it. Now guys, if you want to get that hidden hand perk, again, the Continental, which is the Vanguard auto rifle, is being sold with the same stats pretty much that I have, except for without the, it doesn't have the hipfire perk, and so, or the extended mag perk that I had on mine. It actually gives yourself focus fire, Eye of the Storm. Now I highly suggest going with the Eye of the Storm and Perfect Balance hidden hand. Just go with that over all of these. Again, it gives you the option to go with rifle barrel, but like I said, a lot of the situations, a lot of the maps that we're running into, guys, are not difficult. So that's why I don't really think that you really need to go with rifle barrel. I feel like a lot of the maps didn't have any issues with range fall off, but this is another option for you. A lot of these auto rifles are really good auto rifles though. They made some damn good auto rifles out of all of them, and so just try them both out. They're pretty much the same thing, and pick the one that you feel more comfortable with. Anyways, guys, that is your weapon review of this gun. I found it to work really, really well in 6s, and I even used it in skirmish and stuff like that. Was really enjoying this weapon. And again, I've always been a big fan of this archetype, and a lot of people like auto rifles. Auto rifles is really good for our new players that are coming in this, and we have a bunch of new players. So again, get used to this weapon. I feel like this archetype is very manageable, and it still has a good optimal time to kill, and so you can still have that competitive edge in PvP. Anyways, fellas, thanks so much for coming and watching. I'll catch you guys later. Slap that like button like your mama told you right.